Good morning, everybody. This is the People's Social Worker, and I'd just like to bring you a word. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday morning. There's a question that's been posted on social media, right? This particular meme that's going around. It's been going around for a while. I've even spoken on it, or at least shared the meme, but it came across my timeline this morning again, and it has a picture of a little boy, and the title says, "I don't need a man. I don't need a man to help me raise my son." Then it shows the boy kind of flamboyantly laying across the couch like that, and then it shows the picture then it says her son, and it shows him just flamboyantly laying across the couch. You know, like he's some kind of one of those old nighttime soap operas, Dynasty, one of those divas on that show. And so this particular post, on the comments, I began to kind of peruse them, and the women came out with those long Count Dracula vampire nails, clawing and scratching at the author for just sharing the meme and posting the question, saying he hates his mother, or he didn't learn to read, and most of them like just say you hate women without saying you hate women. You know, as Brother Canvas Samuels, rest in peace, he said he came up with this acronym called SIGN, SIGN, or sign language, which stands for shaming, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. There was a lot of attempting at shaming and insulting that went on instead of just answering the question yes or no. And of course, the ladies, 96% of the ladies who responded said no. They let you know that they're not, when I saw that, it lets you know that they're not aware of their environment, or they're not very self-aware of themselves as women, nor their influence. But only if the kid grows up to become an NBA player or NFL player, then she exerts her pride of her believing that she had everything to do with it. Isn't that amazing how women conveniently take credit for things when they're positive, but they don't want to take credit for the criminal children that come up under their aprons? I'm going to sit here and talk to y'all. Speaking as a longtime social worker, I've worked with individuals, I've worked with men, women, regardless of orientation, race, and I've worked with families. I've worked with young males, teenagers, and young adults. And for any woman to say no, that she doesn't have any influence on the psychosocial development of her male child, and we know girls too, because we see that, but we're talking about boys. She's just being disingenuous. People always say when they are in the criminal life, they say that I am a product of my environment. People say that all the time. So we see these effeminate and flamboyant boys, or they may not be effeminate, but they're extra emotional and they get very argumentative, almost bitchy. But they came up in a household with no father, just women. No mother, auntie, grandma, and if it's a house full of women, it's going to be drama and chaos and fussiness and bitchiness. And so if the criminal young men can say, hey, I'm a product of my environment, how come this same process doesn't apply when there's a boy being raised in a house with a bunch of women? And see, for me, when I see this, it lets you know that women are not respectful of the natural order of things. Those who say no, it does not have an effect. Because all these exceptions, well, my son, they're all boys. They never want to do boy. They only want to do boy things. Your version of what boy things are and what a man's version of what boy things are totally different, ma'am. Because you see the world through the lenses of a woman. If you're in your natural state as a woman, femininity, feminine, And so I guess him doing some things the complete kind of opposite of what you're doing, that's boy things. You know, like messy room, you call that boy things. Not taking out the trash, well, that's boy things. You know, but only a man can connect to the boyness and the future manhood of a young male. Was that too much for a lot of y'all to grasp? And so it goes back to the original sin. When you purposely ignore, for those of you who are believers, when you ignore God and nature, come on somebody, and you make a choice to have children without a father, well, that's what happens. Yeah, I said make a choice. Single motherhood is a choice. Well, baby momism is a choice, but single motherhood could come from a husband dying or a husband, y'all getting a divorce. And even when you become divorced, you're not really a single mother because a lot of times there's some co-parenting going on. Now, those of you who decide to get pregnant in the 10th grade, or you decide to get pregnant, I'm using all the right words because all of this is a choice. When you decide to get pregnant by a boyfriend, you're choosing to be a baby mama, and you're choosing for your child not to have a father. So when you make these choices, that means you have to create a standard that supports the choices that you make. And usually those standards mainly include denial. Get it? Like when a guy chooses a life of crime, or he chooses to have all these baby mamas, and he said, man, these folks kicking my ass in the child support. So, but he said, man, out here hustling and struggling, but he has to somehow create standards that support his martyrdom. When he made a choice to participate, to let his seed go in a woman that was not his wife. Come on, somebody. But due to the fact that men don't get pregnant, the onus is on the woman. Hallelujah. So I'm just saying, ladies, if you don't understand psychosocial, the psychosocial impact of children, you have no business being a parent. Because you cannot and you should not. But a lot of you doing it off of what's called economic assistance. But psychologically, your children are missing out when you choose not to have that masculine balance, that natural masculine balance for your children. So yeah, he's going to grow up effeminate. Doesn't make him gay. Just make him effeminate, a little softer, because he's in that soft environment, doing what girls do. Especially if he's a boy, got 2 sisters and a mother. You know, at least you can do, after you have that child, one, with some boyfriend or out of wedlock, at least you can do is clean yourself up immediately. And this also goes to these divorcees, women who get divorced. See, if you really cared about the psychosocial development of your children, you would not make it about you. You would make sure that, well, at least let me pretty myself up. Let me get myself in shape. Let me get my mind right so I can attract a man who want to be there, not for me, but for my children. A lot of women, when they go out and get another man or get pregnant again, is never, if ever, for the benefit of the children that she already has. Do I need to repeat that? A lot of women, too many women, when you get married again or you decide to get another baby father, you never ever, or I'm sorry, I won't say never ever, but you rarely ever choose men based on the development, the need for that proper masculine development or balance for your children. You can call me a liar all you want to. I've been doing this for 25 years. And I've been a man even longer than that. And I'm a product of single motherhood. So I watched all these women in my family, how they operated. None of them ever. And outside of my family too, because I know some of you say, well, that's in your family. You're a lie. It's families across America. Women do this every day. Right now, some woman, because she's getting her back blown out, she got 2 kids at home by this dude that's not her husband. She wants him for her and not for the children. When you decide to have children, listen to me, please. Take the cotton out your ears and stick it in your mouth. When you decide to have children, you decide that it's not about you anymore. It is about the children. You know why? Because children they don't pick their parents. They don't. I've never read anywhere in any books that I've ever read about how babies get here and how people create kids and all of this and the human development and growth of children and young adults and later in life, later adulthood. Never saw anywhere where it said, even in a small sentence, that children can pick their parents. Now maybe in the form of adoption, but let's stick to the natural order things. Get it? So ladies, yes, if he's raised around you and only you, well, guess what? He's going to act like you. He's going to act like your essence as a woman. He's going to be indecisive, bitchy. Shout out to Shahrazad Ali. Maybe y'all just need to hear what this woman is talking about, because she tried to tell y'all, but 30 years ago, and she's still kind of speaking in certain places right now, but y'all don't want to hear Sister Shahrazad Ali. She's telling you. Bitchy, indecisive, he's unsure of himself, low self-esteem, he's not really in tune with the man in him, so he exerts his masculinity in odd ways, through violence, anger, and through sexuality. Because you hear a lot of these grown men, 35 to 45 years old, because it's been like 50 years or so that women in our community have been in charge, or been the main or the sole head of household, systematically speaking. Because if you had your children without a husband, you chose to be single. You chose to be a baby mama. You can debate that all day long, because you know you have the power of choice. You can choose to be a wife. No, you can choose to be a girlfriend, then transition into a fiance, then transition into a wife, and then be a wife to your husband for a couple of years or so. Then you make the choice to become a mother. But somehow we just skip all of that, just become baby mama and expect all those other benefits to come just because you pushed the kid out. It doesn't work like that. When y'all stepped away from God and nature, that's why all this chaos is going on. That's why a lot of our young men are going to the grave early, because they're coming from these frustrated, struggling, angry, confused, befuddled, single female-led households. That's a large portion. Now we have to add in them being targeted from the first grade. Targeted. Because they want to make sure they never grow into that manhood. And one of the main tools and strategies used in that is to make sure he doesn't have a father. And you women make sure that your child does not have a father anytime you choose to not get pregnant by your husband. That is the strategy. That is what God is talking about. Man, woman, child. Even in the conscious community. You know, my African-centered brothers and sisters. Man, woman, and child. Under a bond, under a household, a covenant. Come on, somebody. But you don't do that. You let teenage girls around here have babies all day long. And then you throw baby showers for them. That's encouraging foolishness. That's another art. That's another video. But I just want those ladies to know who are upset because someone's calling you out or demanding accountability for your body, and also for you to respect children. You can bring men in all you want to, but it won't stop the truth. Men don't get pregnant, ladies. You do. You have total control over your body. You even choose who gets to hit. Number two, you get to choose if he decides to hit with or without a condom. And most importantly, you get to choose. You choose whether or not to have sex, whether you're on birth control or not on birth control. So it's up to you, ladies. Y'all need to start pulling y'all weight to save these children's lives. Most importantly, to save these black boys' lives. Because y'all have been let off the hook for far too long. And look at all this destruction and disaster that's in these young boys' life. And I know that, and y'all know they have a lot of influence. Because first thing, when he gets angry and upset, he says, man, on my mama. He doesn't, on my dead grandmama. He doesn't say on my daddy, on my dead daddy. So ladies, y'all cut it out. This is the people's social worker. Just try to do better. That's all you have to do. Don't feel accused of anything, ladies and gentlemen. But ladies, don't feel accused. Just do better. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day. And let's protect the lives of black boys. Let's all join together to purposefully make sure that they grow into proper manhood. But hunter-gatherers, protectors, and providers. Peace, y'all.